We are talking Union match recap a day after the Union fell to Inter Miami down in Fort Lauderdale in a bad one. It's a 2-0 loss against Inter Miami. Look, the debate here is, did these guys look ahead to next Tuesday? Did they look ahead to Champions League? Because the performance that they gave you for 90 minutes lacked desire, lacked a lot more. And you give credit to Miami. This is obviously a club who is trying to bounce back and trying to set their grounding in MLS ever since coming into 2020. Obviously, buying aging European stars, that route hasn't worked for them. Phil Neville company are trying to build a culture down there. And I don't know if this is a legit Miami team. I don't think anyone should be taking the second match of an MLS regular season too much for what it is. But at the end of the day, you give credit to Miami. They really wanted this matchup. They wanted to send a message early on in the season. There was a lot of question marks. Even beating Montreal 2-0 on the opening match day doesn't really tell us a lot about Miami. And this was their real first test. And we talked about it during the pregame show. Every single matchup you're going to go up against here, if you're the Philadelphia Union, everyone is going to want to get the most out of you because you're the top dog, especially in the Eastern Conference. And especially when you got Miami, when you got Julian Carranza on our end, and he's banging in goals. Damian Lowe, obviously, we're waiting to see what he can do for us as he's still trying to find some minutes off this bench. But you get goals by Inter Miami, and then unfortunately there was nothing from the Philadelphia Union. That's kind of how you leave it here with a 2-0 loss here. But we're going to talk about this real quick. I want to first welcome everyone into Union Match Recap. Of course, I'm your boy, Parcero Philly. If you guys enjoyed today's content, do me the solid, hit that like button and subscribe for more Philly sports. We talk it all here on anything to do with Philadelphia and sports, so make sure you guys are subscribed. Never miss out on any of this content here. It was a great night last night for myself. It was my day off, quote unquote day off. So spent some time relaxing, hung out with some good friends. Had the Sixers and the Union on at the same time on dual TV, so my head was just going back and forth, back and forth. But it was obviously a little frustrating and upsetting to see them lose in the way they did. And the big question mark that we're going to ask here is, did they look ahead? Did they look ahead at Alianza? Because that's kind of what our thought is after watching this match. Now, line same. Elliott and Bizo, Flock at the left shuttle midfielder, and Brew at the six, Ali at the right, Daniel Gazek at the tip with Carranza and Urre at the two forward positions. And look, Miami started it off quick. I mean, you look at right off the kickoff, Miami takes this ball through the center of the pitch. Josef Martinez in the box. Elliott gets a nice block. There's a little scrum in the middle of the pitch, but that's within the first minute of this match. Miami had a nice opportunity. And for the Union, they did a good job of keeping it out. Unfortunately, the Miami had a couple good opportunities. The Union did not start off. It was very similar to Columbus, where they lacked any type of anything in those first 45. Miami got the first laugh, 32nd minute into it. Coco Jean, who we talked about it with Peter Brown from Football Miami TV, during the preview show on Duke by the River. Coco Jean is someone that they brought in for some forward depth with Leo Campagna not fully 100% yet. And, off of a clearance by Miami, Coco Jean then kind of puts the ball into the attack, and Miami goes full throttle. And then Coco Jean just kind of lingers back. And as the ball kind of squirts away, I believe from Lofo Pizarro, the ball finds the feet of Coco Jean, and Leon Flock as he's falling down, trying to get in front of that ball, but Coco Jean hit that ball perfectly, and it was a low ball that grazed the hand of Andre Blake, took one bounce, and went in the back of the net. This is a ball from outside of the penalty box, and those are so unfortunate, right? And in that one, you're just thinking to yourself, how is Coco Jean left alone like that? He's obviously one of those forwards who's going to drift back without. Joseph is going to play as that lone forward, as that nine, and you're going to have Coco Jean playing as that holding guy. So how do you leave him like that? That's going to be the question. But it is what it is. A shot like that should not be going into net. And that's just, again, rust that just persisted there. And then the second goal in the 77th minute, Robert Taylor just came off the pitch, and this was, I think, 2 minutes after the João Mata shot. That was a great. That was an Bruno Martinez turnover. Mata with a great shot from outside the penalty box as well, and that hits the post. But if it was just like an inch lower, we're talking about a three nothing game. But Robert Taylor comes in the game. He ricochet. He controls it with his chest, and then just with one time volley, that ball just kind of like flung away from Andre Blake, and that made it a 2-0 game right there. On that one, I would say there was lack of communication between Brujo Martinez and Alejandro Bedoya, and all they could really do is watch as Robert Taylor absolutely score an absolute crack banger of a goal. That was a beautiful shot that he took there. And that's really what it was, and that's really all it was. The Union had a couple opportunities in the second half, nothing really to ride home. May have better opportunities in the first half, I'd probably say, especially closer to the end. But that's all she wrote. Union could not get into net. You saw a lot of the starters come off the bench or come off the game. May want to see some of those substitutions come in a little bit quicker. He was quick to put in Joaquin Torres and Andres Pereira in the match early on. Let me grab all the here for us. But at the end of the day, I mean, this was just difference. Um, but to reiterate to people, as I always do with the other sports as well, because we have the same problem with the Sixers, the Phillies, and the Fly. Well, I guess there's not much, but regardless, is I want to reiterate that this, ladies and gentlemen, is the first match of the season. This was the second match of the season. The second match of the season. It's the first month of the season. Second match of the regular season. So losing a match in March does not really matter. Hindsight, 2020. What you're really focusing on is this week. It is Champions League. That is the priority. Now, you definitely want to keep afloat, and you definitely don't want to have a performance like this either. I mean, this was lackluster. This was not Union soccer, as Jim Curtin said in the press conference. They did not play Union soccer. But here are the substitutions. So, Leon Flock out first. Jack McGlynn came in. I'm sorry, it was McGlynn and Torres that came in first. This was the 62nd, 63rd minute. Then Urre came off. Joaquin Torres came on. Uh, you had some Miami substitutions. Then you had Quinn Sullivan coming for Brujo Martinez. So obviously Jim trying to go more attack minded there by taking out both of his numbers, quote unquote numbers, and Leon Flock. And then you had Andres Pereira come in for Alejandro Bedoya in the 86th minute, and that I believe was it. That was the only. There was four substitutions here. So Jim went full attack in that second half, trying to give some of his starters some rest here. I do understand that. Listen, CCL is here, but like I said, you definitely want to see some better effort here from the guys. But the attack was obviously the issue here, and I guess I don't think the attack is of a huge concern right now because, like I said, it's still early on in the season, and we've seen this Union team start off slow, and obviously they go off into great runs, especially in the summer. I mean, we talked plenty about last year's summer where you had 7-0 games, 6-0 games. They were scoring goals at will. But now it is just a little bit of that rust factor. I do feel like the Union did overlook Miami. I do feel like they had eyes on Alianza, which it is what it is. You don't want to see that. You'd rather see some more focus from your guys. But that's just what you kind of have to chalk it up to. Because what else are you going to chalk it up to? What else are you going to say the reason why they gave such a lackluster performance? It is really tough to kind of pinpoint on one specific thing, but it really does kind of seem like that's really who it was. But listen, we talk about team is gunning for you, and you have to be able to show up in that instance there. I mean, the opportunities were here tonight for this Union attack. There was opportunities to get some goals. Ray Calendar some credit. He's a goaltender who's still trying to find his game. He definitely has some stuff to work with. Uh, we just could not get past him, and that's unfortunate. Now, Sergei Christos is someone we talked about in the pregame show. And listen, he comes from Shakhtar Donetsk, who we know very well. with El Sino. So those are good players that are playing over there. And I do believe he came here because of the whole situation that's going on in Ukraine. And he just wanted to play, and he's a veteran center back. So from every indication from talking to Peter Brown of Football Miami TV, there's a lot of expectations for Christos, but he looked pretty solid to start off here. But did look solid in this match. To me, he was the best of the three of Kazak, Karansa, and Ure. But unfortunately, the only thing he really couldn't do was just put a ball in the back of the net. That was the unfortunate part. It kind of felt like they were getting in each other's way a little bit throughout this match as well. But at the end of the day, you can't get mad at the loss as well because those were two nice goals. I mean, I can't take anything away from Robert Taylor or from Coco Jean because those were just crazy goals, and the Union typically don't allow that to happen. Typically, there's going to be someone in front of there, and that's why we say like the energy definitely could have been much better. But El Brujo Martinez did not have his best match. The first goal, like I mentioned, I probably would say Gazdag. Like I don't know why he was standing around a little bit on that Coco Jean goal. The second one, Robert Taylor, like I talked about, El Brujo and Ali have to do better communication on that. But in general, El Brujo's defense just was not good. There was one delay situation where he wanted to get a ball on a throw in, and then Miami already threw the ball in, and that's a call, and that's a card. That is a rule. That is definitely a rule there. So not the best for Brujo Martinez, but we know the importance of Brujo. And look, I'm sure Jim is going to talk to him, and I'm sure he's going to be great on Tuesday in Alianza. And that's just El Brujo. That's just the fact of matter of Brujo. You're going to get those moments, but at the end of the day, he's still very important. And even think about the bad turnover he had. Like if João Mata lowers that shot just a little bit, you're talking about a 3-0 game, and El Brujo being a culprit on another one of those goals. But at the end of the day, look, I understand that no one wants to lose 2-0 to Miami. We are better than Miami, 110%. And if when they come to Chester later on in the season, we're going to show that. But what I do want to iterate here, ladies and gentlemen, is that it is early in the season. I did see some overreacting, nothing crazy, nothing Sixers like so far with the Union, but it is the second match of the season. So let's not overreact. Right now, priority is Champions League, and that's where all of our minds should be, including the Union. Because look, that's a big trophy. Getting the respect for the continent, for Philadelphia, that's got to be the goal here. So if that's what it takes to have a great performance, you want to start off big, especially down there. Away goals are still really big. So all eyes are unfortunately down there in San Salvador. But we'll have to wait and see, man. But better, especially when you get those long shots of goal. Now, Glesnes and Elliott, I thought they were pretty solid overall. But I mean, listen, the rust overall with this team has definitely been prevalent. But not too much to dissect here. It was unfortunate with those two goals. Those goals, like I said, don't typically happen, but we're gonna have to wait and see. So Union have Alianza this week on Tuesday, and then Chicago at home on Saturday. So we'll have a lot of soccer to be talking then. But wanted to get this quick recap in, just give you my quick thoughts on this match. It is unfortunate, but not too much takeaway because we didn't play Union soccer, and they could definitely play better, and they will tell you that as well. Stay tuned for some more content this week, guys. We'll be bringing you back all things Philly sports here. So make sure you guys are subscribed and do me a favor, hit that like button. I really would appreciate that. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure you guys stay tuned for more. Thanks so much for watching.